Hey guys, today we're going to be taking on the Power Absorption mission of the GT Fighting Legend Goku event. Now, I'm going to be bringing a almost full Buu team, and I'll show you my team up on the screen as we're going through this event. The benefits and the recommendation of bringing a full Buu team is that they will continually heal you through this event. So, honestly, that's one of the best mechanics, because this event does so much damage to you that you're able to go through it and continually heal throughout the event. Now, you might think I'm a little crazy bringing 2 AGL units, considering the last unit or enemy is a full power Super Saiyan 4 that's a TEQ unit that pretty much could one-shot any AGL unit in Dokkan. So, but you'll see why I kind of bring these 2 units. One for AGL Piccolo because of his healing, and he links up real well with the Buuhan. The other reason is Super 17, who actually is one of my favorite GT bosses, has the damage reduction mechanic from his EZA, and he honestly holds up pretty well in this event. His damage reduction pretty much will tank most of the enemy's attacks, even towards the Super Saiyan 4, which you'll see in the later stages of the event. Now, I brought the 2 LR Buuhans who continually stack defense on their 18 key and stack attack on their 12 key. The friend unit is 90%, so he definitely helped when we were going through this event, because he was able to get additional super attacks to raise his attack and get crits. Mine is a 55%, so he did help once I was able to keep stacking his defense and attack. The other unit I brought was STR transforming Buu. He had the potential of getting us killed in this event, along with Buuhan and along with TEQ Buu. The reason why I brought Buuhan STR version is because I actually don't have the TEQ transforming version, the Dokkan Fest. I could have bought him with coins, but he honestly wasn't worth it, and I just wanted to try it out with the transforming Buu. Now, the one benefit about bringing TEQ Buu is that he's a double orb changer. So he actually will help you out trying to get that 18 key off, and his healing ability. So towards the later stages, when you're getting hit for 100 to 200k, the links will help heal you. However, they're not going to heal you to full health. So when you're able to grab those extra rainbow orbs in this event, they'll heal you to full health. So here I'm trying to looking at his defense to figure out, well, one, is he going to get murdered by a super, and if we can actually get an 18 key off, because it's very important to try to get the 18 key and continually stack his defense throughout this event. Ultimately, we weren't able to, because the orbs just weren't going to fall the way we wanted to. Now, Int Cell is a little bit of an outlier, because he doesn't link up particularly well, but he only needed about 2 or 3 orbs per turn to get his 12 key off, so very rarely we actually saw his 18 key. The reason why I brought Int Cell is because of the Super Saiyan 4 TEQ unit at the end. I figured he might be able to tank some of the attacks and kind of cover us a little bit, because Cell's defense is pretty good, and for his regeneration mechanic if we ever needed an extra heal when we ran out of items. So that's the reason why I brought Cell. So if you have him, I highly suggest bringing him, because he'll be able to hold his own throughout this event, and that extra healing, so it kind of acts like a 5th item, I guess, of a healing mechanic. 2 items I brought on this event were 2 Android 8s because of the defense increase, and actually the Whis. for the damage reduction, because this team will heal you on its own. So instead of bringing a Princess Snake, which only lasts 1 turn, the Android 8 and the Whis will last 2 turns each time you use it, so it covered us for a lot more turns. So STR Buu transformed here. To be honest, he's probably not the transformation I wanted. I think it would have been better if STR Buu transformed into Buu Piccolo, because Buu Piccolo, I believe, would have gave us more defense in the end. Buu Piccolo gives us, Buu Piccolo greatly raises defense for 1 turn and causes immense damage to the enemy. He also gives allies Ki +3 and defense +30%, so he's much more defensive than Ultimate Gohan. Ultimate Gohan will raise his attack and defense for 1 turn, and then his passive just gives attack and defense plus 120%. So it's not bad, but defensively, we probably would have preferred Buu Piccolo, because Buuhan could get supered and killed, especially against the AGL stage. So he's holding up actually 13k, which isn't terrible. But if he would took a super, he probably easily would have been taking 200k. And I believe Super 17 should be built up by now, where he's going to get his damage reduction. So Buuhan, LR Buuhan, is at the point now where he's not getting taking triple damage. He's only taking double digits from normal attacks. And then Super 17 comes in and will just do the extra damage plus his crit, and he gets a double super, which is super beneficial to this run because he will take down the enemy's health, especially in the earlier stages. Now it's probably better to kind of play out the earlier stages, but once they get their damage reduction and Buuhan gets, after he supers like 5-6 times, he's usually okay to go into these later stages. So right here, you can see the double orb changing just makes it so easy for LR Buuhan to get his 18 key off. And then Buu Piccolo, defense is not the greatest, but he does have that dodging ability. And the TEQ Fat Buu is able to heal. The one good thing about the TEQ Fat Buu is that once he gets Rainbow Orbs, he's also gaining attack and defense plus 20%. So when he double Rainbow Orb changes, he's actually has a lot higher defense than 50k. I think that's what he's usually sitting at. But as you can see, by no means he's doing great damage, like 400k. I mean, he's at 55%, so it's not like he's gonna really carry the day for us. He was just another unit I thought that could help us heal. And honestly, I was looking for a filler's position, so I brought that TEQ unit along. If I had the Dokkan Fest TEQ Buu, I probably would have brought him over the Orb Changer. Just because I think once TEQ Buu gets into his last transformation, he's pretty Super Buu. He's pretty good in this event. I don't think he would have really hurt too much. But then again, I mean, any unit in this event doesn't really stand up too great against the later stages. Like once you get to Golden Ozaru, you kind of have to just pick your attacks and pray that it's not like gonna attack you in the wrong spot. So right here is probably Buuhan's best scenario because he's going up against a physical unit. So we're not getting supered in the back at all. So we'll just stick in cell towards the back and then get this 18 key super off, continually raise that defense. Now, I think my strategy going into this was let me get the Dokkan attack off kind of early, but hold off a little bit to try to use it against Golden Ozaru, because he hits insanely hard. So we kind of want to use that damage against Golden Zaru with probably Super 17 and AGL unit to do more damage than normal. Because honestly, the Buuhans are at this stage a little bit of a liability. I keep saying Buuhans, the LR, the physical LR Buuhans are a little bit of a liability against him because of the type disadvantage. Now I know they keep stacking, but he hits insanely hard. And prior to these runs where I have brought the TEQ Buu will get us one-shotted if he takes a super. Because I've gotten to this point where it's like, okay, TEQ Buu is getting supered once in the back end and it does 400k, and there's no way of avoiding it because I don't want to use an item this early on. And as you can see, we weren't able to get the Dokkan attack off because the orbs weren't enough. So ideally, I probably would have wanted it with Super 17 to get a Dokkan attack off. And luckily, we're getting supered in the front. And see, Super 17 takes 36k from a super attack. It also has type disadvantage, and he has damage reduction. And watch how much TEQ Buu does against him. Yeah, with a crit, 300,000. And getting normaled for 115. But as you can see, their power absorption and their links heal them so much. So even though we took about 250k, they healed probably about 70% of that up. And it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get 18 key. I'm just checking his defense to make sure, like, even if he gets super in the front slot, that it's not going to like completely just one turn us. So my other thinking is, why didn't I get the Dokkan attack with the physical LR, who has a lot more damage? The reasoning is because even I think with a Dokkan attack with the LR, it wasn't going to do as much damage anyway. So I thought it was maybe more important to get an 18 key, still build up his defense, and at least use the type advantage to our benefit. Because one, the dodge, so if he did take a super, there was always a chance he could dodge, which he did, and it just wasn't going to be worth it for us to get a Dokkan attack off. But unless he gets a crit like that, where he did 300 or 3 mil, it would have been worth it. But again, I think it's also better to build up his defense still. Now, transforming Buuhan doesn't really do anything too like crazy. I mean, he's just there, but I mean, he still tanked fairly well for this stage. I mean, 65k with no item. And then I believe, yep, we're still able to get an 18k. This turn was actually a little lucky in the sense that all his attacks are concentrated up front. So Super 17 was just able to just tank all of them. Even if he supered us with Super 17, it wouldn't have done that much damage. And we got the crit there, and the double super. Super 17 was an MVP because he holds up in this event so well, like better than actually I thought he was going to. I thought when we were going to the last stage, like he was just going to get demolished, but we'll see when we get there. So LR Incel, not doing crazy damage, but enough to push us over the edge. So this is the turn I thought I was going to die, because Super Saiyan 4 Goku attacks so many times in the back. Look how many attacks he does. And I look at TEQ Buu's defense, and I'm like, 65k and all these attacks in the back end. I was like, even with all the orbs I could get, I don't think he's going to get enough defense to the point where he'll survive. So I also transform with Buuhan because the damage increase he gets from his transformation is insane. And I figured that we stacked enough that we need to move through this stage quickly to protect Fat Buu. Because Fat Buu ultimately could get us killed right here and now. And so I believe I did activate an item just in case, and we get supered right away, which honestly I was like, well, at this point I didn't really need to use the Whis, but I also didn't want to risk normals against TEQ Fat Buu because I don't know how hard this in Super Saiyan 4 would hit against him. So lucky for us, this was the 90% LR of Buuhan, and he's just powerhousing this unit. Like, he just demolished him. Double supers, and he's just moving right through him. And watch how much damage TEQ Fat Buu does. Yeah, 16k. And this is with the orbs that he gets for defense and attack, and damage reduction. So it definitely helped us out that turn. And so I'm going to transform with my Buuhan, who's not going to do as much damage, but he's still going to help move through this stage a lot quicker. And so right now, I'm probably starting to think about, okay, how can I protect the STR Buu? And good thing the Whis is active because, again, the LR, excuse me, the Int Super Saiyan 4 Goku attacks so many times in the back, which literally kills us because we need all their attacks to be up front. But for whatever reason, towards the later stages of this event, they all just start attacking right in the back. The Super 17 comes in, does decent damage against him, and still tanking double digits. So we get one super off, takes 2.5 million off of him, and then the third super, which is key right here because I believe we're able to knock him down. Actually, I thought it took off a little bit more. Maybe it's the next turn that we actually are able to. He dodges that, of course. So what did we take here? Double digits, which I was actually shocked. I thought he was going to at least take 30 to 40k. But again, I guess that Whis really saved us, and his defense was high enough that he could tank those attacks. Other part I'm now thinking about is Buuhan. Or excuse me, Buu Piccolo. Buu Piccolo needs to probably be floated off. But I'm trying to get enough orbs for sell the super. But it just doesn't look like it's possible. And I didn't want to go through this stage and have Buu Piccolo on rotation when we get to the Super Saiyan 4 tech, because I think he would just have wiped him out completely. So the strategy was, at this point, put on Cell. He should have enough defense to hold his own and get Buu Piccolo out of there and minimize his exposure. And now we get to this turn, the final stage. So here's where I start getting worried that we're going to get supered. One, in the back, or two, how much damage is Super 17 going to take in this stage if he gets supered by Super Saiyan 4 Goku? He has that damage reduction, but is it enough to really save us? So I'm going to activate an Android 8, one to bump up his defense. With his damage reduction, should be enough to hold us through this event, or through this stage, and for TEQ Buu to be protected through the back end, because he is getting There's Rainbow Orbs, which is helping. But the Android 8 is going to cover us a little bit. As long as we don't get supered on TEQ MAJIN, we should be okay. And Super 17 is probably not going to do anything against the Super Saiyan 4. So 200k, and with a crit, again 200k. So he's not putting up damage at all against him, but he's also not taking any damage, which I can live with, because he's just going to soak up more attacks. And 54k we can live with, because he didn't super us at all in the first go around with him. And so during the first round, we didn't even knock off one health bar. And Cell is going to be able to do a 12 key, but again, we're just hoping that Cell does not take ridiculous amounts of damage, even though he has type advantage. The 5.5 mil attack is pretty good. But let's see how much damage he's actually going to do. 1.6. Which is not the best. And then he dodges that second super. And then Cell is going to do, with type advantage, about 1 million. So what I'm thinking here is that we're not doing enough damage quick enough that we're going to be able to move through it without having at least one of my units probably take a super at one point. We got lucky and didn't get super that turn either though. So at this point it's really hard trying to figure out, okay, how much exposure is Buu Piccolo going to have, because now he's on rotation, which I didn't want. I honestly figured that LR Buuhan had enough attack that he would actually start knocking down his health a lot quicker than it actually was. And thankfully we got supered in the first slot, because I did not want to have Buu Piccolo getting supered in the back, even with a Whis. A lot of times I'm activating items not because I don't think that the first two units could tank, it's my floaters. I was afraid that my floaters were going to get ripped apart. And my Buuhan honestly didn't do barely any damage to him that round. It actually shocked me. I was like, how many turns are we going to go with him? Because there's only a matter of time before he just supers in the back, and then it's game over. Like, there's no way in hell. And this is not going to even do anything to him. Yeah, like 76k. Not even 100k. And with a Whis active, he's taking 100k normals. However, the healing is what helps us a lot. It keeps our HP high, keeps us from taking a lot of unnecessary, you are using a lot of unnecessary items to heal. So that's also why I brought a Whis, because of the damage reduction and because of this skill orb mechanic where they heal off rainbow orbs. So here is a little bit of a tough decision for me, because I'm trying to decide, is it better to get the TEQ orbs for more healing or get more rainbow orbs? As you see, it's either the STR orbs or the TEQ orbs. Because if we get the TEQ orbs, we'll get more healing, but I think there's more rainbow orbs when I hit the STR orbs. So I ultimately go for the STR because it's more rainbow orbs, and he'll get more healing and more attack and defense. So Buuhan is 1.6, so it's not bad, because this is a 90% LR, and this enemy is still tanking that much off these attacks. So we get 1 super, 2 super, taking double digits, and we're getting supered in the front again, which is, if we get supered in the front every single time where that's where our defense is, it won't be that difficult. However, we also don't know how much TEQ Buhan or TEQ Fat Buu is going to actually take. Man, it's hard saying all these Buu units because it's Buu Piccolo, Buhan, Fat Buu, Transforming Buu, all these Buus, and it's just like you get tongue-tied. So that round we were fine. Takes 31k off the normal attack. And now we're trying to figure out whether do I want the healing or ultimately take all his attacks up front. So we stick Buhan up front because he can take all his attacks. And this is one of the luckiest rounds is because we weren't taking any attacks in the back at all. So we didn't really have to worry about it too much because I don't believe an item is active at this point. Because I figured I would risk it a little bit because even if we get supered with Super 17, how much damage will he actually take from a super attack? So we get normaled and then we actually get supered, and at this point I was literally shitting myself because I thought it was game over. But only 200k from a type disadvantage super attack from the strongest unit in this stage, and he only takes 200k. Granted, Super 17 is rainbowed, but look at the healing that happened as well. He literally took us for 200k, and then we healed probably about 70% of that back. So Super 17 is probably one of the better units that's an AGL that can stand up to the Super Saiyan 4. That is actually insane. Because honestly, without Super 17, I don't think we would have tanked as well, and I think he would have hit us a lot harder if it was any other unit in that slot. So now I'm activating Android 8 to kind of cover myself for the last slot and possibly getting supered, but even just the normals I feel like would have, like, a normal attack on Buu Piccolo, it probably would have done 200-300k. Like, I think he probably could one-shot off to a normal attack. And the other thing I didn't realize until the next turn is how close our Dokkan meter is. Because I had no idea that we were actually that close. Because if you rewind a little bit and look back when we started this round, our Dokkan meter was maybe only a quarter full. So we were able to fill up our Dokkan meter that much in this last stage alone. And that crit was huge, because it takes him down to almost 1 bar of health. And now he's at 1 bar. And so it would have been better to get a Dokkan attack with the 90% Buu, but we're out of items and we're going to get the Dokkan attack off. So at this point, I'm like, okay, we have to have this in the bag. Like, hopefully he just takes the Dokkan attack and just wipes him out. Like, don't even get to the last slot. Get it all. I'm like, please, please, please be enough to kill him, because my 55% Buhan wasn't doing anything to him this whole entire round. So he attacks him. So what does he do? He doesn't finish him off, but then the normal finishes them. We didn't even have to go through the rest of the round. We didn't have to worry about TEQ Buu at the end. So that's the video. If you guys liked the video, leave a like down below. If you're new to my channel, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.